What's up, Willowbrook? Today our passage comes from Luke chapter 4, verses 42 through 44, and Mark chapter 1, verses 35 through 39. And I'm going to be reading from Mark this morning. It says, "Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Simon and his companions went to look for him, and when they found him, they exclaimed, 'Everyone is looking for you.' Jesus replied, 'Let us go somewhere else, to the nearby villages, so I can preach there also. That is why I have come.' So he traveled throughout Galilee, preaching in their synagogues and driving out demons." And this passage is really interesting to me, especially when you consider what happened the day before. We read earlier in the chapter, starting in verse 21, that Jesus went to the synagogue and he began to teach. And so he teaches, and then he casts out a demon, and then they leave the synagogue and go to Simon and Andrew's house, where then he heals Simon's mother-in-law. And then it says in verse 32, "That evening after sunset, the people brought to Jesus all the sick and demon-possessed. The whole town gathered at the door, and Jesus healed many who had various diseases." So he drove out demons, he was healing people. It was a busy day. It was a crazy day, so you would think that Jesus would say, "You know what? I'm going to sleep in late tomorrow morning. I'm going to get some extra rest." But he doesn't do that. In verse 35, it said, "Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, he got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed." And I think this is really interesting because we see Jesus understands where his power, where his strength comes from. It doesn't come from more rest. It comes from connecting with the Father. It comes from connecting to the source of everything he needs. It's kind of like this cell phone right here. If I plug this in every single day, it's connected to the source of power that it needs. Well, then whenever I need it for something, to make a call, to text someone, to open a web page, to make a video, even like this, the phone will be ready to do what I need it to do. But if I plug this phone in, once a month, every other week, it's not going to be able to do what I need it to do. And the same is true for us when we are connected with the Father in prayer every single day, and God calls us to do something, directs us to do something through His Spirit. We'll be able to do what He calls us to do, because the whole point of this, living out this faith, is not relying on our own strength. It's relying on the strength that God gives us. Jesus himself said, if we abide in Him, we will bear much fruit. Apart from Him, though, what does He say? We can do nothing. So Jesus knew this. So no matter how busy His schedule got, He took time to get away, to turn off the noise, and to connect with the Father. Now, in a culture today that prioritizes busyness, that maybe busyness is almost like a badge of honor. There are some things in our lives that maybe we need to remove to make room for something better. And so maybe that's you watching this right now. Maybe you feel like your schedule is so busy that you can't spend time with God. Whatever it may be, I want to encourage you. Let's be like Jesus. Let's take some time every single day to connect to that source of power, because in our own strength, we can do nothing. God bless you.